Hey, welcome everyone to this episode of Your Business in HD. Today, we are going to talk about how to manifest and how to cast a vision that actually manifests using your human design. So welcome if you guys are jumping on, say hi, hashtag live. If you come on in the replay, hashtag replay. Welcome. So I'm going to just dive into today's topic about casting a vision that actually manifests, because 'tis the season right now. If your feed is like mine and you are getting inundated with goal setting, goal planning, quarter one, 2023, closing out 2022, vision boards, all of that stuff, 'tis that time of year. So I actually wanted to dive into this topic a little bit because it is something that I truly believe it's very valuable to, at this time of year, not only reflect and look back on the year that we've already had, the months prior in your business, in your life, and then using that to help kind of forecast what you're seeing in the years ahead. So that's kind of something that I wanted to touch on today. And I also wanted to share a little bit about my personal experience when it comes to vision casting, vision boards, and the way I did it before versus actually using my own personal human design and kind of applying that through the vision integration method, which is an amazing method to actually create and cast that vision. So a little bit about myself. So my story, if I go back a little bit with my own personal experience with creating visions, creating goals, and creating these vision boards, was if you kind of rewind back maybe about 3 years, so even pre-2020, when I was jumping on the train, I had the vision to start my online business. I had this vision to quit my job. It was something that I was striving towards. And I just kind of jumped on the train of doing these vision boards because everybody was doing them. But I was newer to that process, and I was newer to the online space, and I was newer to my business as a whole. And so I got overwhelmed. So it's easy to sit in some of these workshops, these vision board workshops that are going on, or just to grab a template and to sit with a blank poster board in a bunch of magazines and feel that sense of feeling overwhelmed. And that's how I remember feeling. I was at this place where I was still working on my business. I was still working at my hospital job, and I had yet to actually take those action steps to leave that job. And what I noticed when I created that vision board, so this is the very end of 2019, looking ahead at 2020, when I put that vision board together, my vision was not super clear whatsoever. I didn't put the most aligned things on there. I kind of it's almost like even through this process, you almost feel well, I should put this on there because so-and-so is putting this on their vision board, or you should do it this way, or I should be wanting this big grand vision, where that's not necessarily the case. So again, when you start to get into that comparison, even when it comes to your vision of what you want for yourself, when you get into this comparison, this is where you start to doubt yourself. You start to think well, am I casting a bigger vision? Am I doing this right? Am I doing this wrong? And you almost I almost remember kind of shaming myself a little bit for not wanting the big grand things, or for feeling I had to put certain things on my vision board. And there were things I definitely wanted, but I just wasn't clear at all of where I was going and what I really wanted for what I really desired for the future. And so I didn't end up putting the most aligned things on there. Some things were in alignment. Some things did end up working out over time. Of course, this is 2019. This was a couple months before the world shut down. So that kind of threw a wrench in a whole lot of things. But in some ways, that was a catalyst in and of itself for me taking action on some of the things that I did put on that vision board. But it wasn't super clear. And so this meant, because I didn't have that clarity, number one, of who I was, I didn't have that clarity of where I was going. And so what I did was I created this vision board, and it was very pretty. I did it in Canva. I did it digitally. So I had it like on my computer. But what that meant was like, I created things and I pulled things and I put things on there based on what I thought I should be wanting in the coming year. But without fully, number one, making sure those things were all in alignment with me. And number two, making sure that I, at an energetic level, truly wanted to make those things happen within the next 12 months or within the next, 18 months or whatever. So I created this vision board, and then I put it away and I didn't look at it again. Like, I didn't revisit it. I didn't live it. I didn't focus on what the actions that needed to be taken to actually make some of those things come true. So surprise, a lot of those things didn't happen. Some things did, but a lot of things didn't. So fast forward, we get through parts of 2020, and actually from some of the things that happened through the year of 2020, those were catalysts that actually pushed me to take some really big steps and make some really big moves. So at the end of 2020, I did actually end up putting in my notice for that job and finishing up and wrapping up my last ever hospital shift at the very end of December of 2020. So 2 years ago today. But that was even before I entered into the process of using my personal human design and the vision integration method combined together to create and cast this vision that was in full alignment with me. So that's just a little bit of the background of some takeaways I'm going to give you guys for the steps that I walked through when it comes to using your design to cast a vision that actually manifests for you. So if you're just jumping on and we haven't met before, you're brand new to me, you're brand new to my world, welcome to this live. If you're on live, hashtag live. If you are on replay, hashtag replay. A little introduction about myself. My name is Jen Dice. I am a human design and marketing strategist for online entrepreneurs. I ran a Pinterest marketing company for 2 years, and one of the things that I noticed was a huge gap with the 6 to 7 figure business owners that I worked with is that we as entrepreneurs and many women in the online space tend to rely so heavily on all of the marketing strategy that we put ourselves aside, and we forget to actually look deeper at what actually works for us. So I'm setting out to bridge that gap between the strategy that is on the marketing side of things, the marketing strategies that are everywhere in the online space, blending that and bridging that gap with how that strategy and figuring out what works best for you as an individual, as an entrepreneur, based on your human design, so that you can ditch the shoulds when it comes to your business and create more purpose and more profit in your business. So that is a little bit about me, and what we are talking about today, again, just to review, is how to cast an aligned vision that actually manifests for you using your human design. So I talked a little bit about my personal experience and my personal examples, where I was when I was just kind of muddling through the process of okay, I've got a blank template. Let me find a bunch of cool stuff to put on here, and that will be my plan for casting my vision for the next year. And what I found was that when I approached it that way from an external source of I should put this on there and I should put that on there and I should do this and I should want that ended up creating a very cloudy vision, no clarity or direction on where I was going and what I truly wanted, until I started to dive more into my human design. So a couple of takeaways I want you guys to walk away with from this training. When it comes to your vision casting this year, number one, I want you to getting clear on not just yourself, but understanding your human design is knowing your human design strategy. So if you don't know what your human design is, you can grab a free copy of your chart from mybodygraph.com. You go in, you enter your birth data, it will populate your human design body graph. There'll be a graph on the left side and there'll be a summary on the right side. And that summary will tell you what your human design type is, but will tell you what your strategy is. And that is the first thing I want you to look into and kind of walk away with. Why is your strategy important? It's at a deeper level of whether you're not just a generator, a projector, a manifesting generator, a manifestor, or a reflector. It's that next level deep, because your strategy is important, because it it's kind of it's how you're meant to exchange energy with the world around you. And when it comes to this vision casting process, this is how your strategy helps you determine how best you're going to experiment with taking action. So it's kind of like when you're looking at your strategy and you're looking at how you're best designed to respond to things, or wait for the invitation, or inform, or whatever your strategy is. You're going to be able to, it's almost like following a recipe for the first time, because it's almost like your guidepost of, yes, I'm a manifesting generator. So what does that mean? What does that mean for me? How does that mean? How am I supposed to, apply this? Well, as the manifesting generator, looking at your strategy of to respond, and with that little bit of informing, like, this is how you're designed to exchange energy with the world. So this is how you can experiment and start taking action. So when it comes to that vision board and starting to think through some things that you are going to work towards in the coming years, this is where, when you start to put those things on your vision board, you're going to rely a little bit and lean into that strategy as you take action towards those things. Because as you take those action steps, you're going to get some of those signals of whether or not you're in alignment, stepping in alignment towards the goal, or stepping out of alignment. So that strategy is going to help you best determine how to exchange energy with the world through the actions that you take when it comes to the things that you're putting on your vision board. The second thing I want you to learn from your human design to apply it to casting a vision is your authority. So working together, that authority is going to help you with the decision-making process. So if your strategy is kind of like following that recipe for the first time, maybe it's the holidays, maybe you're making cookies, maybe you're making cakes or whatever, desserts or treats. As you're starting to experiment, your authority is going to help you make those decisions. So you're making decisions of, is this really for me? Is this something that's fully in alignment for me? Is this something that I'm excited about? Is this something that I want to put on my vision board? So tuning into that authority, and that's also on that summary on your chart, is going to help you decide, or help you make those decisions of, okay, I see other people in this vision workshop that I'm taking putting cars and trips and things on their vision board. And then you start to get into that, well, maybe I should too. Well, this is where you tune into that authority and you're able to make that decision of, you know what, that fancy trip to that location is not in alignment with me, but I'd much rather take this getaway with my family, a little bit more locally, but just have all of these other different types of memories. That's more in alignment with me. So that's how, when you start to pull in your authority for making decisions, it becomes a compass. That's why it's important, because it becomes a compass in your decision making. And it's kind of like when you're following that recipe, you're adding the flavors that work for you, not what works for somebody else. You're adding and you're creating, and you're following that recipe, but you're making something that is truly going to fit well with you, that you desire to bake or you desire to eat, the flavors that you truly are in love with when it comes to the things that you're baking. So that's the second thing. And then the third thing is to really understand at a deeper level why the things on your vision board are important to you. Because every time you look at your vision, you want to feel what it would feel like to reach that goal. And so this is kind of like, with the baking analogy, it's like you're following the recipe, you're adding the right flavors to it. And now the process of actually understanding the why is, it's almost like you're smelling the cookies baking in the oven. You're smelling what that cake baking in the oven smells like. You feel that aroma, and you feel like you start to imagine what it's going to be like to taste that recipe, to taste those cookies. And you can, it's more of pulling in all of your senses and feeling it at that deeper sensory level versus just a picture on the board. So this is why, so that's what's going to keep you going. That's what's going to connect you to that vision. And we're pulling different things. If you're following the vision integration method, which is the method that I teach for creating casting vision and creating goals, is we're applying this to these key areas of your life, of who you are. And we're pulling in your human design. We're pulling in pieces of your astrology so that when you walk away and you have that vision board, you've created something that is in alignment to you based on some key pieces of your human design, but also based on things that you truly desire. You can see it, you can feel it, you can smell it, you can really experience it in your mind, in your body, what it's going to feel like when those things start to happen. And that's going to trickle back into you taking those aligned action steps through your human design strategy and taking those aligned action steps to reach those goals that you set. So this is not just a process of we're just going to pull a bunch of pictures and I'm going to put a bunch of different things on this board that I want to make happen. This is like, yes, you want to do that, but you also want to run that back through your own personal compass, through your own inner guidance, and make sure that you as a person today can sit and energetically embody and believe that those things are going to happen. Because if you don't have that energetic piece where at an energetic level, the things on your board are just not a match for you right now, it's going to be harder to take those steps towards those goals. So it's really making sure that you're matching those things on your board in key areas of your life, not just your business. You are a whole person. You have a 360-degree depth to you as a pure person, as a human. So it's in all of these different areas that you are elevating, that you are lifting pieces of you that also help to elevate and lift your business, other pieces of your life, things that are most important to you. And when you have that energetic match, that's how you can supercharge and really take those action steps to create, to actually bring to fruition those things that are on your vision board. So I hope that was helpful. Just to recap this video for you guys, if you're watching this on the replay, when it comes to creating an aligned vision that actually manifests using your human design, number one, if you don't have your chart already, go ahead and pull your chart from mybodygraph.com. But number one, know your human design strategy. This is important because your strategy helps you experiment in taking aligned action towards your goals when you've gone through the process of creating your vision board. Number two, know your human design authority and utilize it and tune into it to make decisions to determine what goes on that board and what is in alignment for you, not based on what everybody else is doing doing for their own vision boards this year. And number three, know, feel, embody, embrace, and step into the feeling of what it would feel like if the things on your vision board came true. Be that energetic match, be able to embody what you are striving for today so that you are able to see it, sense it, feel it, know it, and believe that the action steps you're taking today are going to help those things come to fruition for you in the future. So if this was helpful, drop me an emoji in the comments below. And if you want more information, more help, continuing this conversation on using your human design to cast an aligned vision for yourself, for your business, and for the future, click the link that comes with this video below and we can continue the conversation there. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video training, and I'll be back next week. So thank you so much for joining me today.